welcome.
What are we discussing today?
Today, my darling, we're discussing planning, kind of linking it back to the New Year's resolution of what if one of your resolutions were to create a one-shot comic. Then we're going to go into
Or
the
the
things
first
like
book in a series.
Or the first book in a series. Also true.
Or the second
And then
book
we're
in
going
a
to discuss
series.
talking about like reading things, you pedant. Reading goals and goal setting around other things related to graphic novels, including art and what have you. So it's a fun-packed, short episode. When we did Art of Chaos, we planned and executed it. Ace thought in a year, but it actually turns out to be in a few months.
That's
which is quite
still
impressive.
within a year.
It's still within a year. True. It doesn't have to take 12 months. You can do it.
And from idea conception, I think when we first talked about doing a graphic novel together was in September.
September, October, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you do need time for planning. But from when you gave me the first couple pages to when I published the book.
Yeah, so I started writing it in January and got the
And-
first 16 pages to you in the 20th of February. Carry on, what you were going to say?
I didn't get the printed proofs till like September, October, a year from when, again, we first discussed doing a project together.
There you go then.
So
This episode makes even more sense. So it is a year after all.
yeah, with all the, because like with the printing and stuff, you're waiting around a lot for proofs, and just going over little details. And then also, to be fair, the planning and logistics does take time, but is a very important step to set yourself up for success.
Yes. Well, what part of the planning?
Story planning. I would also say schedule planning.
Schedule planning, yeah, 100%. And logistics planning, absolutely. Like, start planning that quite very early on.
And also communicating the idea between each other. Like, if you're working on it yourself, you don't need that stage of bouncing ideas off of each other or aligning story goals.
Yeah, totally. That's true.
Do you wish we planned the story less?
I plan the story as little as possible. I think I'd be amazed if I could plan it less.
So you wish we did it more?
So I've written from book 1 to book 2, which the book 2 script is completed. I planned book 2 a lot more.
Was that better?
That's hard to say because without sounding arrogant, I think I'm a better writer now than I was. So I would like to say that this script is better. I know this script is better than the first one.
Or maybe it's just all down to planning.
No, because I didn't plan this one either too much.
All right.
So I kind of wrote it out a few times, and then I scene carded it, and then I rewrote it, and then I've just done that and on repeat. So I suppose, yeah, now what I really want to do, because this is a 9-book series, maybe 10, is...
Oh.
Yeah. yeah, it is. Is do a full write-through, start to finish, as a short story. Like, as in, like, this is what happens throughout it, just so I know. Like, almost like a treatment, like you do in a film. With like the whole arc for the whole series. So I know kind of roughly where it ends, or we know where it ends. We know kind of where it goes, but I'd like a better plan, I suppose. That could be quite fun. I've never really written to a plan.
So if you were going to produce this second graphic novel in 1 year, start to finish.
In 1 year, start to finish, starting from now.
No, starting from January 1st. How would you block out time for planning various parts of production.
So, how I would do it, and then you get to tell me how you do it. No copying. How I would do it, because I'm not an artist, or at least not an illustrator. Certainly not an illustrator.
Oh, you can say, like, for this book, if we are working together again, or you can say if you were doing it on your own and either illustrating.
Okay,
it or
firstly,
getting
I'll
someone
say
else.
if I was to do it on my own, and then I'll do it as if we're doing it together. Yeah.
Yep.
If I was doing it on my own, I would be, and I had, let's say, half an hour a day at this. Like, this was a hobby of mine. I could work on this. Like, I was getting up early and I could do half an hour, and then I was doing half an hour like in the evening or something. I reckon 3 or 4 months. I'd reckon mid-March, I'd want 50, 60 pages done
How many drafts?
of a script.
I guess you
as
can't
many as you
really
can.
know, but that would.
You can't really know, because sometimes I can write super fast, other times, yeah. But I reckon if you put the goal of mid-March,
I think that's enough
I
time
reckon-
for at least 2, probably 3 drafts.
I reckon you could do 3 drafts in that. But without putting pressure on anybody, I reckon you could do 2 drafts on that. Yeah. I would make that my goal, and I wouldn't spend more than 2 weeks planning. I wouldn't spend more than the start of January, because I feel like, me personally, how I would look at it is that I can plan. The reason why I don't plan is I can plan ad infinitum. Like, I could always be like going back and going forth, whereas stuff needs to be done. So if I was just like 2 weeks, or let's say the 20th of January, I have stopped planning, I have my plan out, then middle of March, then that gives me to the beginning of April. In that process, if I had any spare time, I'd be drawing out the characters just rough. And then I would spend the whole summer redoing those, and then inking and colouring. This is a big task to do it in a year. Now, publishing. I'd start ordering your samples. So we ordered samples, and you did this from when you produced my book Peaks. You gave me a box of samples and was like, "What paper do you want? What things do you want?" I would start that probably when I've finished the script. And that would mean that I had all the ideas, because I think the logistics side is harder than you think it is. It's not just sending it off to our printers and having it done.
You also need to know the page size before you start drawing or doing
Also true.
illustrations.
You can kind of be like, well, I kind of want it A3 or A4. You could do that kind of in your head. But yes, you want that nailed down before you do the script, before you start the drawings, and you want to know what paper is like, and you want to know what things are. Yeah, 100%. And then the rest of it, as much time colouring and drawing as I possibly could. And yeah, that would be my goal.
I think this is interesting because there's also something to be said if you want to be able to sell it for Christmas.
Yeah, true.
You actually don't have the whole year. You have to, depending on, you'd have to have it up for sale probably mid-October,
Yeah.
beginning of November, because you need people to have enough time to order it, and then
Shipped
shipping
out.
for Christmas, which takes longer than
Yeah.
the rest of the year. So you'd probably need proofs like a month before that, in September. Which, to be fair, production, hypothetically, for graphic novels should be easier. When we did Art of Chaos, I messed up on the panel sizes and stuff, so I had to redo a lot of that formatting after it was done, which took a while. But hypothetically, you should be able to set that up early days, and then as soon as you're done illustrating a page, that page is ready to be printed, proof ready.
Okay, so talk more about that because that's super interesting. Because you know much more about production than I do. So tell me about like how you would go about it, start to finish. What would you say?
I think script, you're right. I'd say end of March. Because, well, it depends how long it is, too. Well, okay, let's say like Art of Chaos, it's 50 pages. I think end of March is enough time, and you really want to make sure you have a strong foundation. And then I'd want to have the proofs, I'd want to order proofs probably end of August. And then in that time, you
Wow.
also do the cover. Because Art of Chaos, I probably did 80% of it in like 2 months, but I did
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you did write a dissertation and finish class.
Well, the dissertation wasn't a huge.
So I can tell you exactly. Well, the dissertation was huge.
Well, it was, but it was a lot of just collecting things I'd done for the graphic novel.
So I sent you the end of the book in July.
For Peaks? No, Art of Chaos.
No,
Oh,
Chaos, because you got me to redo the
that's a
ending.
lot later than I remember.
Loads later. So I got the rest of it back to you in February, and I think you wanted me to redo the ending.
You make
'Cause
me
I've got
sound
even more-
so demanding.
You are.
Oh, no, it was because it was going to be twice as long, and I said, I can't do this.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Sorry.
That's okay. Worked it out at the end, and then
I think I've blocked a lot of this.
I
from my
know
memory.
because the email is called "Even More Work for a Broken Woman." It's the title of the PDF.
I do remember you were getting creative with those.
Yeah,
Because
so
the one before it was more work for a burnt out woman. And then you sent me even more work for
Even
a
more work.
broken woman.
yes. So I would. This is why again I would have your script locked down back in March, and I would have a plan of what you can realistically achieve, which I would keep around 40 to 65 pages.
I think so I've done illustration casually as a hobby for most of my life, but I was by no means a professional illustrator. And so I didn't really have a clue on how long everything was going to take me. And it depends on the panel. Because backgrounds
I was going to
take me
say,
a
tell
lot
us that.
longer.
So, average, how long would you
I have
take
no
on a
idea.
panel?
Because in the beginning, I was going really, like, the first 8 pages probably took me 2 months. But then, like I said, the last 80% of the book I did in, like, the rest,
head
the
down,
40
got it done,
pages,
yeah.
was another 2 months. But by the end, I was a lot faster than the beginning because I'd been practicing so much.
Yeah.
And I got more confident in doing things. And then in the beginning, I also got caught up in really little details. Like if you look at the first page of the book, in the panel with Cleo, in the background,
Yeah.
there's this kind of astrological globe orb thing. That took me hours. And like, it did not need to have so much detail. And so I got better
Yeah, I see what you mean.
about spending my time more wisely. Second, once I had drawn the character in a few different angles, I would trace it, which sped things up for like different panels. I'd be like, okay, this is another 3/4 view. I have that same angle here. I just need to draw the rest of her.
Yeah.
And then
So you'd recommend tracing, like somebody who is time starved, as we mostly are.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not even tracing. Like, I'd find the same. I think there's definitely a panel where I just took. It's like a 3/4 shot of Cleo, and I took the line art from that, and I just flipped it because she was opposite. And so it is just the same.
Fair.
I mean,
I
you
would
have to
imagine
change
that's
little
used
details
quite
like
a
where
lot.
her eyes are looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of times like I would take the same line art and then just change the facial expression or like move the arms, but that takes less time than if you were to draw the character from scratch. And then I also used the models, like the different body models on Clip Studio.
Ah, yeah.
But
Yeah, I've
I
seen a lot of
think
people use that, yeah.
if you're a professional artist, you're a lot more used to sketching out people quite quickly.
A lot of the pros that I've seen on YouTube and the likes on the YouTubes, they still use a lot of models and
Oh yeah, I mean even before the days of digital art, you had people with those wooden models. But the last thing was backgrounds took me a lot longer than I anticipated. I do think for me and my training, I've spent a lot more time learning how to draw people because I just found it a lot more interesting. So it could have been I was just weaker in background drawing and landscapes and rooms, etc. And apparently one of the dissertations a few years before me, so before AI really was huge, someone made an entire graphic novel with just AI images, partially because the illustrator he was working with fell through, and he was like, gonna fail the project if I...
yeah, because you was a publishing masters, so like technically it wasn't.
No, and actually that's the thing, like this doesn't have to do with goal setting, but my advisor kept saying, like, you're spending a lot of time on the illustrations and you're not graded on that.
Yeah.
But it was a project I really wanted to do, and I think it would have been harder to do outside of that environment. And in the end, I'm quite happy with it, and I got a good score on it, so...
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, you put a lot of work into it, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That you would get a good grade, and it looks good, and you did a soft cover and a full cover.
Yes, 2 covers. Oh, so if you're gonna make a goal of doing a graphic novel in a year, more time than you think you need. I think I would prioritize giving yourself more time for the drawings, unless you are a professional illustrator and you know exactly how long each page is going to take you. I think the writing, which is mostly dialogue, is going to be, when you put that onto the actual page, you're going to do kind of another edit on it. And when you do the proofs, you're going to read through it and feel how natural it sounds. And I think if you're writing the script and doing the illustrations, you can do a line of description on the script. And then when you do your thumbnails, really sit down and think a lot longer on how the page is going to be, the panels are going to look, the action is going to flow. And so I don't remember what I was saying. So yeah, I think if you make sure the script is good. You want a really, like we said earlier, you want a really strong foundation. But even when you finish that script, you're going to inevitably have another few chances to go over the different elements of the script, and it will change a bit. And so I would say, as quick as you think you can get the script done, do that, and then give yourself more time for the thumbnails and the ink and the coloring. Because I also forget, thumbnails take a really long time, but it doesn't feel like you're doing anything because you're just sitting and thinking about how you want the page to look, how the action's going to flow, where the dialogue bubbles are going to sit. And so it takes a lot of just, unless you've done it, again, professionally. But I'm going to assume most people are doing this as a self-published hobby.
Yeah, as a hobby.
It does take a while of just...
Because if you're pro, you also have more time, so like it's... Yeah, you could...
And I'm sure everyone is going to have different parts where they feel stronger or weaker. Like if you have a writing background, you're going to obviously feel stronger with the script. And if you hire an illustrator, then you just want to make sure you give them enough time. But if you're an illustrator and have never written something before, then you're probably going to want to have a few more drafts and maybe a few more eyes of people reading over your script.
That's the thing, is because sometimes you can get comics or graphic novels that are beautiful but aren't story. And I think a lot of people will probably fall down in the publishing idea of there's this story. They certainly do in novel writing, so I imagine it's exactly the same in graphic novels, where it's a well-written sentence, but it's not a good story. Would be the novel version of like it's a good panel, but it's not a good story. Graphic novel. So that's why I think like spending time on the script and making sure the story is pretty tight
This is
is
interesting
an idea.
because while we both have a writing background, you did the writing of the comic, I did the illustrations, and you're like, strong script is the most important thing. And I'm like, no, you need more time for the illustrations. It's going to take
More
way
time for
longer than you
illustration.
think.
No, I think it will take way longer than you think. Which is why I'm like, practice whilst you're doing the script, but don't put any pressure on the practice. Like, literally just piss around. Don't worry about that because you've got months. So, for our plan, I'm actually a little bit ahead of the curve because I have my script ready to go. So that will be coming January the 6th to you.
January the 6th.
Clean as a whistle.
Oh, so my goal between
6th of January.
now and then, because it's not December when we're recording this, I want to do is a lot of comics. They have characters with a very specific silhouette, whether they have like a weapon or I think this is a movie, but it's a good example. If you think of Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, she has a very specific silhouette. If you see all of them in a lineup, you'll know who she is because of her antennas. And so I think because we have a large cast and crew of our graphic novel about the Nine Muses, I would like to create each of their characters to have a more unique silhouette while still working with, the character designs I did in the first one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But even if I give them like a staff or something, that might be a
well,
little
they
too
each of the muses have a thing, so.
Do you use their thing in the script?
I do actually.
Do you?
Yeah, I do with Cleo with scrolls.
Oh, fair. But she's not going to be like holding a scroll everywhere she goes, so it's not, that wouldn't contribute
How do you know? You've not read it yet.
Okay.
I might put just scrolls everywhere.
Okay.
Scrolls in her eyes.
Oh, God.
Yes. So that would be the main goal. I think that we could get that done in a year.
Me illustrating it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think we could do that goal. What do you think, Ace?
I don't know. Yeah. Let's see
Yeah?
how my consistency goes. I wouldn't say I'm the most consistent person.
I would say you're consistent. I just think that you have a lot of projects on. We both want to finish our novels or rewrites on that.
Yes.
And go out to agents next year.
Ideally.
That's the main goal. And then getting AOC out there is the other main goal.
Yes, I said we should set the deadline for 2 years from now. And so you'll put your expectations a long way away. And when we finish in a year, it'll be
I just
really
don't
exciting.
think it's Parkinson's law, isn't it?
Oh, that's true.
That a task takes as long as you give it. So if it takes us 2 years, if it gives it 2 years, we'll take 2 years. Like I think this could be done in summer.
If I'm unemployed, and I'd like not to be.
Employed as an illustrator, I've told you.
Maybe.
Beth said you should be an illustrator.
Aw, that was nice. Thing is, if I'm illustrating, like this is the trap I fall into with writing. If I'm employed doing that, I think it would be a lot, like I'd be so drained for working on writing projects. Although I wonder if illustrating, it would just make me a stronger... Oh my god, I saw a short comic on Instagram the other day about a girl, like, she did little, like, doodles of her really young and wanting to be an illustrator, and then her as a teenager, like, being really emo and practicing art. And then now she's, like, at her day job and exhausted. And then she's like, I have to remember this was the goal, and I'm living the dream.
Oh, that's really nice. That's the thing. There's always going to be shit days, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to Script Notes the other day, and Craig on Script Notes, the guy who wrote Chernobyl and has written loads of stuff, even he was like, I feel like I'm dying. He was in the middle of a script and he was talking to one of their guests. I forget who it was, but he was like, I feel like I'm dying. Like, I hate this so much. And I feel if somebody at that level, getting that much money and that much kudos and that skilled, hates his job, then all jobs have their shit aspects to them.
Oh, yeah.
Like
That's life.
I was a hairdresser for 20 years. That's just life. Yeah, just anything gets boring if you do it too much, and you have to remember that actually the positives outweigh the negatives a lot. Yeah. Which isn't really insightful. Everybody knows that, but it's just a good thing. It's just a good thing to remember.
Fair. I think it's quite difficult to become... I think I would like being an illustrator. I think it's quite difficult to...
I feel like you could become an illustrator writer full time.
All right. Sure.
That's
If you know
what I
anyone
think.
who's looking for a writer illustrator, let me know.
Okay, I will. Well, I'm looking for an illustrator, so yeah.
All right. I'm going to charge you slightly more than I did with Art of Chaos, which was 0.
Which is 0.
Okay, so a 2-year goal for that. Do you have any reading goals for your...
So a 1-year goal for AOC. I think an 8 month. I think we're
8
here to
months?
publishing. I reckon
Oh, we sell it
we
for
could get it out for
Christmas.
Christmas.
God.
I think we should sell it for Christmas. That's it. I've got it. We're doing that. I'm gonna be a dog with a fucking bone. You're gonna be so bored of me.
What happened to... Oh, I'll just give you the script and you can forget about
I
it.
said-
You're doing
so
so
I
many
said,
things. It's okay. You can
Dear
ignore
readers.
it.
I know. I gave you such a lovely message. I
You
was
did.
like, it's okay.
I'm gonna write it,
Yeah.
but just put it on the back burner.
Put it on the back burner. You were really stressed, so it's fine. And then you text back and said, no, I can do this.
I
And
said I'll do it, but it's gonna be at a much slower pace. I'm not doing the whole
I
thing in 2
believe
months.
in you. It's not my fault that I believe in you so much. That's a good quality in a friend. I just believe in you so much.
All right, we'll see.
Now, we'll see. I think we could do it. There we go. I said it.
There's the we again.
There's the way again.
You're gonna
I can
colour?
help you colour.
All right,
Yeah.
that will make it better.
If we can get it out by December, if
Well, we'd have to get it
you're on
out
board with it,
by-
I will colour it.
If we do Kickstarter again, we'd have to
October.
get it out by October.
October.
Okay,
And I'll help you colour.
all right.
Fucking yes. You heard it here
I'm gonna
first.
warn you.
That's exciting. Oh, that's so exciting. All right, perfect. Now I've got some meat on the bones for the year now. That's good. Have I got any reading goals? Yes. Not officially, but I feel like this is my time in my life where I need a good reading goal.
Is it? Because I told you
Yeah.
to make one for this podcast?
No, because I said I was going to do a reading list this summer, and then I didn't. I only read 3 books in it out of 50.
I'll add some to that list for you.
And so now I'm thinking, what if I do what would my reading goal look like? Would it be a prescribed list that I got off the internet? Would I create and curate my own reading list and my own reading goals? Or would I just be like, it's 50 books, hell or high water, doesn't matter what, go.
So I think the most popular way to do it is the way I've heard other people doing it, it's the last one. Every internet list I've ever seen I like some, I don't like others, but that's not, if I'm looking for something specific, I'll search like that. Now, this is a very personal answer. I would prefer to ask around, and usually I'm in different moods at the end of each book. And so I'm looking for different
Yeah.
things, whereas those lists are very, they always have a common thread where I think I like reading quite different things at times. Like you need a palate cleanser, or sometimes you're looking for something
100%.
more fantastical, etc.
Yes, that's a good point. You do need to add in palate cleansers, because I have a series of books that I'm reading, The Horus Heresy. We can do a special on that, happily. At least to the Massacre of Istvan 5, because I think that is an important part of a story. That's a good story, so we can do that soon. I know you're thrilled to.
Well, I think because you presented the idea of a Warhammer podcast once, and I think it would actually be a really good idea if I read one of the books. Problem is, our library doesn't have them here, so I don't really want to spend $1 million on these books. My apologies.
64.
That's a lot of books.
64 in the Horus Heresy. I think there's, and then obviously there's Warhammer. Yeah, and then there's the 40k, and then there's the other branch
books
offs from that.
in my life that I'd like to read.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
But I actually think it would be interesting if I read one and then tell you my reactions. You who has read all of them. I know you
not all
haven't,
of them
but
yet.
most of them. And I know
I will
nothing.
have. That's
a good
going to be
dynamic.
my.
But do you think the audience of this podcast would be interested in this?
Well, tell us. Let us know if you want this to turn into a Warhammer podcast.
No, it's not going to.
I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to do that. We could do that happily.
Patreon special.
Patreon special. We just do Warhammer, where I talk at you, where you have the microphone on silent, eating snacks, and I talk at you for an hour.
I'm not opposed.
Yeah. See? Oh, this one says 54. So yeah, I'll finish the Horus Heresy this year easily.
That's your reading goal?
That's one of them.
That's the internet list you looked up?
No, the internet list I looked
up.
The
Horus Heresy.
Minus 20. So the Horus Heresy.
You didn't laugh at my joke.
Oh, what is Google? What is the Horus Heresy? I thought you were saying what is the Horus Heresy. I was like, this will turn into a Patreon special where I have to tell
I
you
know what that is.
What the Horus Heresy is.
No, I was saying that's the reading list you looked up.
Fair. No, the reading list I looked up back a few months ago when we were in Liverpool was 200
pages or less.
No, 50, 200 pages or less, exactly. Because I was thinking of changing one of the drafts of my novels to a long novella, short novel, 200-page thing.
I have some for you to add on to that list, if you do it.
That's still 70 books I'm looking at already.
Okay, well they're short, so read them faster.
Plus all the graphic novels. For this podcast.
Yes, you will be reading a lot of graphic novels this year.
A lot of graphic novels. Yep. So I need a good library, which Manchester will have. Well, it has multiple. So yeah, I need that's it. I'll be in the library a lot.
Yes. Yeah, so last year my reading goal, sorry, I have hiccups, was to read all of my books that I owned before buying a new book.
Oh, well, you fucked that up on day one, I imagine.
I absolutely did not. I did.
You've read all of your books. You've read all of your shelf.
No, I didn't do that. But it wasn't on day one. Okay. I actually read a lot of the books I already owned, more than I would have otherwise. But because I was moving and couldn't bring a lot of them with me, I wanted to kind of decide which ones were worth moving with me and which ones were worth giving away. And it was to keep me from buying more because, again, was moving, needed less stuff. I did end up buying a few books.
You did?
And like one of them I got, some of them were gifts. One of them I got because you can't buy it in the US. And so I wanted to get it. And it's signed. And I got to go see the author.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that one was like, I feel like that was a good exception. But as I was doing that, and so I was reading and I'd get close to finishing, and then I'd look at the books I already had and get more excited about which one I was going to choose next. And so I did get through a big chunk of them. I didn't finish them, and a few of them I started, and because I was on such a time crunch at the end, I was like, I'm not into this book for whatever reason. I'm just going to get rid of it and move to the next one. And then when I was backpacking around Europe, I brought two with me, with kind of knowing that I wasn't going to like them that much. And so I could just read them in the hostels and then leave them at like
Yeah.
a free library or in the hostel if they had book swaps.
You did that in Barca, no?
Left a book? No, they were gone by then.
Oh, I thought you
One
left the
was
book
a
when you
couple
were
of
together.
kids in Prague came up to me in the train station and said,
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
well, they were for class, they needed to trade something. And I was like, they had a pack of mints, and which I still have. And it was really nice, like on the trip. But I was like, I'll give you my book. I told them I finished it. I just didn't like it and I didn't want to carry it anymore. But I was like, I finished it and I'm, traveling, so you can take it. And they were like, are you sure? This is like a lot bigger than our little pack of.
Then the mints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is good. So I hope they traded it for something nice or got lots of points on there.
Yeah. What kind of lesson would that be?
I don't know. Bartering? Economy?
Yeah.
I didn't really
Yeah,
ask.
I guess.
Books piled around on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of. Got all my art books I'll keep. I left a lot when I moved back to Manchester, so I'm starting from the ground up.
We have a little free library there's like a mini park in our neighborhood, but no one ever exchanges books in it. I check every single time.
That's sad. Do you leave books in there?
I left a bunch of books. No one's taken them.
Oh.
To be fair, a lot of it is kids' books.
Right.
Because I think there's a lot of young families in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
But, like, we walk the dog past it, and every time, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
I want it to cycle through. Anytime there's, like...
Maybe you should start a community. Start like a group.
I was thinking I should start a book club. The last one was really good, but you didn't read it. And it was under 200 pages.
Mine, the one that we were in together.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
I know, and you should.
I should have.
You can still.
But the one before that, you told me to read, or people told me to read, and it
I
was
didn't tell you.
god awful.
I knew from the beginning it was going to be something I hated.
Did you?
Oh my god, yeah. I had hopes because it was
no.
space, but as soon as I
Yeah.
picked up that book, I was like, absolutely not. I'm going to push through
It's
it.
Orbital, by the way. It's everybody knows it in case you're listening to our thin tactic, but like tactic of trying to keep it away from you. Orbital. I thought it was terrible. It's beautifully written, but it's just it was
No,
boring.
I knew it was not going
I
to be
was
something
bored.
I liked.
Yeah. And I understand why people like it, and I've had conversations with people who are far better writers and readers than me. One in particular who loved it. It was one of her favourite books when we read it. I just couldn't get into it at all. I even got the audiobook to try and be like, you will listen to this. But yeah.
I didn't finish it. I didn't say that because we had another book before that I didn't finish because there was a lot of body horror.
Yeah, man.
I was disturbed.
Yes.
We just got me.
But yeah, start a book club. That could be your goal.
That's what I was
Linking
thinking.
it back. That could be your goal for 2025, 2026. What year are we in? 2026 we're going into.
But I also, because again, I'm trying not to buy more books, so I might do again, read the books you have. I don't think I'm going to get through all of them, but...
Thank you so much for listening. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. my dear friends. Hope it's joyous and fun with friends and loved ones and family, and even if you're on your own, I hope you have a steak and potatoes. That's normally my steak, salad and potatoes. It's normally my New Year's Eve dinner. Yeah.
We do chocolate-covered pretzels.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for listening. See you next year.
Thanks for listening to Ink in the Eyes. See you next year. Mwah.